What?
Yo, YouTube, greetings and salutations. It's your boy, Uncle Jim.
There he is, Uncle Chich. He's the champion. Let's go.
Woo! I mean, this is a little bit dated, but, we get into it. Look over to the left, everybody. Oh, no, take a look. It's the best. Out on that West Coast, doing the best most impression of what it's like to be a robot when the sun is going down in the Pacific Palisades. It's a very wealthy part of town. Ladies and gentlemen, out on those streets of California, it is Mr. Curtis
Curtis Magic, I'm the robot you ain't got.
Robots are expensive.
Independent. Can't
It's true.
afford me.
I mean, unless you were like Ricky, what was his name from Silver Spoons?
Mm-hmm. Ricky
Schroeder. Ricky Schroeder. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming through and being a part of the channel. And I know that you came in for very specific things. First of all, you're subscribing. We thank you.
Yeah.
You've given us a thumbs up. Thank you. And you're coming through and you're spamming. You're spamming the comments. And we appreciate
Tina S.
And we're bringing the Tina S to you. Everybody was hitting us and said, mine will be blown by Moonlight Sonata. So we're about to let it go down. Let's hit it now. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt, you got anything else to tell to the people?
Let's get it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
She had us both choking on something. At one point, I was coughing, you were coughing. I think it was raw talent. It was just lodged somewhere in this vicinity.
She's faster than Barry Allen, the Flash. She has more finger dexterity than Stephen Strange.
There you go.
Her demeanor, as the kids say, I mean, it's sheesh, but see, back in the day, that's cold as ice. That's ice in the veins. I mean,
she's straight chilling.
Listen, I know that she's, Abigail Breslin is now in this new film where Matt Damon is her father, and she's been arrested in Spain somewhere, and he's going to try and get her out. And when Matt Damon comes for you, I don't know if it's the same intensity as when our friend Liam Neeson comes for you,
right?
But he has a particular set of skills, and let me tell you something about Tina S. Okay, all kidding aside, let's get into the technique. Don't sweat the technique, as they say, but you got to sweat this technique. First of all, flawless, effortless, flawless. The difficulty, for those of you who play the guitar, okay, one of the more difficult techniques in playing the guitar is the sweep. Okay, now this is a movement of your pick across the strings with simultaneously while running up and down a particular scale set, right? And there is a aspect of the sound that requires a almost ghost-like touch in order for you to get the resonance right. It can't be plucked too hard. It requires such control as to, a sweep requires a speed component. Now, for this woman, for Tina S, for this alien, to do this in the finger tapping component, which means she has to have the hand dexterity and speed and touch control for her left to go through the scale, but also this simultaneously she has to have the same level of speed and touch control on her hammer-ons, just enough pressure so as it's not technically a hammer-on, because the sweep requires you to go through such a number of notes at such a fast pace that the time you would take to actually pound your finger onto the fretboard it's not fast enough, and it'll create a completely different sound. And she did this multiple times. Her alternate picking technique at the speed at which it was happening was insane. And if you watched her hand, I mean, this is the kind of thing where you're watching somebody have, I mean, no offense to people who have a medical condition, but it was like a seizure. It was just like the shakes. But she is alternate picking, moving up and down both the, all of the scaling of the left hand, but her movement up and down the fret area. I mean, the string area, the main string area is.
That's right. And the intonation all the way throughout, all the various different sort of, tonal qualities that you heard throughout. She had,
it's a classical piece. You have to hit every note.
Right.
It can't be muddled. And there was no.
And she's putting the right kind of, what's that? I think the technical term is when she does this with the left hand. It's I think that's a wiggle waggle, where you go like that, and then just give it that tremolo.
That's correct.
That's a wiggle waggle.
The tremolo style, the floating.
So, but she's bringing that sort of character and kind of heart to the material too, right? She's not just like, okay, I got the note. Like she's really leaning into those moments, those very, very, very few and far between moments where you can sit with a note for a while and just give in it as much like raw
without
tone as you can possibly
without taking her foot off the gas.
Exactly. Not at all.
I mean, this is obviously at a tempo well beyond most of the time you hear this piece, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is faster, obviously for the violin, for the strings and things like that. But again, if you think about the dexterity issue, if you look about, okay, you've got a bow. A bow is going across the string, so violins can get insanely fast, and the
Oh
note,
yeah.
the note quantity can be off the charts because of how quick the bowing is. But again, you're also talking about touch points of there's multiple touch points across with a bow as opposed to your fingers, and the control, you can be a little lighter with a bow touch than even with your fingers sometimes, because it's in and the effortlessness, right?
There was at one point she had a 16th note's worth of a rest, and I swear she yawned. She was just like, she was playing that masterpiece like I play,
Hot cross
Super
buns?
Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, something where you're just like, this is not,
You're
there's no
saying-
difficulty here.
You're saying in the ease in which you press a button and the computer plays something.
That's right. Where I play World 1, Level 1 on a loop. That's how easy it was for her.
Yeah, she's
Crazy,
an
man. Crazy.
all-world talent. And
Not right.
look, I watch a ton of guitar videos, and there are obviously some complicated metal riffs out there that people jump on and do. I'm a big fan of Killswitch Engage. I think a lot of their, and they're coming in with a harmonized guitar action, and you listen to a lot of like Dream Theater has a lot of like really complicated patterns in their music. Anything that's in the prog rock world, if you're a Tool fan, they have odd math components that they put into their styles. There's one that's based on the Fibonacci code, which is like, I think, like increasing integers, and it's there's an insane kind of level of talent out there. And this girl, to go under the radar, right? She's not fronting a band. She's not some kind of prodigy that we know of. Now maybe she is, and she's out there just getting
a prodigy.
Degree.
Yeah, right.
She's like, I think I'll take culinary arts this year, 400 level, this the study of international diplomatic
Bruschetta.
If anyone wants to know the difference between a French bruschetta and an Italian bruschetta, and the
There's
little
a lot of history there. And this is, I'm not even good enough of a electric guitar fan to be able to make a legitimate comparison. I wouldn't want to take what this is or what other people do and muddle it up unnecessarily with comparison. I will say, frame of reference though, we watched the Do and Herman Lee for that fundraising video that they did in collaboration together. They put the bags on their heads.
Right.
A lot of muck-ups.
Yes.
No cap. I couldn't play it with extra sets of eyes.
Right. Or four hands.
Right. Exactly. But she's like, a lot of that number, she's like looking over here. She's closing her eyes, doing ungodly things with her fingers.
It's a level of connect.
Yeah.
It's a level of intellectual connection with obviously hours of honing the craft and the skill, but the effortlessness is, like I've definitely gone to some shows. I've definitely watched, and these are people who are, this is the 80th day on their tour. Okay. Yeah. And some of their orchestrations are so complicated. It's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta be right here.
Right.
And for her to do something, first of all, it's a 6.5 minute piece. Most songs in the genre are, to be honest, like 3 to 5 max.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, there are longer.
Especially that intensity.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was never, again, tonally and in terms of speed and pacing, technical acumen inside of the playing. I mean, that's a heavy load, and for her to make it look like it was as simple as getting out of bed and breathing.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's an all-world talent.
The last thing I'll say, because I don't know anything else, but the playing to the track did not give her, was not a help.
No.
That only complicated all the more. The sort of the naked ear, so to speak, without a metronome. Had she played that without the track, you would have never known if she had to like slow a lick down for a second.
Right.
For that's just that, like, but when you're to that track, there is no room for error. We'll hear it because now she's behind the beat or whatever. So and
crazy. Maybe just maybe
crazy. Yeah.
The reality of the beginning of the HMO process in food, where we were slowly being controlled by the overlords of industry as they've required a type of farming that is mass production level. I mean, we're talking about the Model T type of reorganization and their the non-organic process requires completely a lot of laboratory style work, and so then you see these tomatoes that are they're not as intended by nature. I mean, they're the cucumbers, the grapes, the pomegranate, if you will. So the fact that she took her interpretation of this piece, which I firmly believe is an indictment on the attack against the small farm.
That's right.
The agrarian culture that was built out of the shared village, financial structural component. I mean, no wonder she brought so much passion and speed to it, because she's trying to communicate. We're in a world that's sliding.
A musical resistance on behalf of subsistence.
Correct. In a million years, I couldn't have said it better.
Well,
I mean, we'll be long dead in a million years, but I wouldn't have been able to say it better. But
that Tina S video will still be around, making people go, oh.
It is now being broadcast to the furthest ends of the universe, and we will then, in a much more advanced time in our planet's history, people will retrieve it and be like, oh, this is what aliens. They probably didn't mess with us at that point, because they thought, if this woman can play a guitar like this, if this is an instrument, what if it's a weapon? Who knows? We appreciate you guys coming through and being a part of experience. For those of you who, again, relentless in the comments about Tina S. Moonlight Sonata, here you are. I hope we did it justice.
We can do nothing but thank you, because there's a chance we would have slept on it if you hadn't done the job of writing in the comments.
I took 2 naps today.
We value the comments. Yeah.
I took 2 naps today. I sleep on a lot of stuff. Mostly a futon from IKEA. Took me a while to put it together.
They're not bad.
Matt, do you have any kind of do you have like some type of a vocal recap, if you will, of this reaction that we did to Tina?
Man, I just got a Fina for our girl Tina.
Aquafina?
I got a Fina. Like Tina's not the easiest thing to rhyme with.
Solid point. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you hitting the subscription button. Appreciate you hitting those thumbs up. Appreciate you coming through in the comments. As you know, we're interested in what you're interested in, right? Matt's over there.
100. I have no personal interest. Yeah. I only have your interests. That's all.
The man is 100% here for you. I, on the other hand, from time to time, will again take a nap. Have some lunch.
Dream of sneakers.
Sometimes you get a little bit, and then you immediately are like, oh, what's going on eBay? It's a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming through, and we appreciate the fact. Listen, the truth of this music is that it brings love and joy, and it also brings a little bit of what we hope to put out into the world and see permeate more, and that is peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jizz. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm repping for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly-ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jizz, I'ma give you the plug.